Hi everybody, and thanks for the invitation to speak with you today. Special thanks to Rambo Rang for coming in to present some of her beautiful East Sumbanese textile collection. My name's Joseph Lamont. I'm a music and film producer and independent researcher. My recent work has been researching the role that intangible cultural heritage plays in indigenous religion education and social initiatives in East Sumba. I was born in Australia, but I've been based in Sumba since 2016. I position myself as a learner and an outsider in relation to the Sumbanese people and Marapu Indigenous religion community. The content of this presentation was shared with me during a series of interviews with expert Marapu weavers, ritual specialists, and also non-Marapu Sumbanese people. So what I'd like to do today is give a brief overview of weaving in the context of the cosmology and oral traditions of the Marapu Indigenous religion of Sumba. So Sumba is an island around 400 kilometers east of Bali. It's around twice the size of Bali and has a population of around 800,000. There are 8 language groups in Sumba, and the bulk of the language diversity is in the western side of the island. This talk will focus on the eastern side, which is one language group, Bahasa Canberra. So I'm going to start by giving a quick visual overview of the material culture and visual arts in Sumba. So the stone sculptures in Sumba are quite well known. Funeral sculpture, ritual markers, gold items used in ceremonial or ritual context, gift exchange items, clan treasury items, utilitarian tools including weaving tools, roof finials, ritual place markers, keratin-based products, women's hair combs, bracelets, basketry, and of course textiles and beadwork. So in terms of design, technical and artistic skill, it's pretty clear that traditional textiles are perhaps one of the most, if not the most, prominent form of material culture in East Sumba. They're so prominent, in fact, that in folklore oral tradition recorded by Adams, Sumba itself is likened to an ikat tie, with the warp threads running from the east of the island to the west, and tied at both ends in order to seal the island within this metaphorical ikat tie and prevent any life juices such as rain or groundwater from dissipating out into the ocean. So the title of this presentation is Mawulu Tau, Majii Tau, the creator of humans, the weaver of humans. So this is a parallel speech couplet expression that refers to a creator according to the Marapu Indigenous religion, and it just shows the key role that weaving plays in the Sumbanese mind, with mankind itself being woven by a creator. In a similar couplet below, in a pakawurung, ama pakawurung, we can see this phrase, mother of the universe, father of the universe. So this kind of masculine, feminine dualism in cosmology and oral tradition, with weaving itself as a central metaphor for femininity, is a really fundamental concept, both within the Marapu religion and within secular society in Sumba. So the etymology of the word Marapu is contested, so I won't go into that here, but in practice, the word refers to ancestors, specifically deified clan ancestors. It also refers to the religion, the Marapu religion, and adherents of the religion. So like many Austronesian indigenous religions, Marapu adherents believe in a supreme creator deity who they are unable to communicate with directly. Aside from the world that humans inhabit, Marapu cosmology consists of an upper and a lower world that can only be accessed via the Marapu clan ancestor as an intermediary. So the core principle of the Marapu religion is for humans to strive to maintain balance and harmony in their relationships with the upper spiritual world, between other humans, and with the lower world and natural environment. And the intermediaries that facilitate communication between these different domains are the Marapu. So there are over 200 clans in East Sumba alone, and each clan group has their own Marapu, who acts as a protector and is called on during a range of ceremonial or ritual activities, including births, marriages, deaths, agricultural rituals, and so on. So this division of an upper and lower world with a middle world in which humans conduct activities is also reflected in the traditional architecture of Sumba. The peaked upper portion of a house is a sacred place and reserved for activities concerning the clan Marapu. It's the place where the Tangu Marapu, or the clan treasury, which includes gold items and textiles which are used in ritual ceremonial context, this is the place where they are stored. The mid part of the house is again the part in which all human and social activities are conducted, and this section is raised on stilts above the lower section reserved for livestock and symbolic of where the natural world or lower world begins. So I'm not suggesting a direct correlation. I think more research needs to be done in this area, but we can see a very similar structure in the classical period textile to the right. The textile is divided into three main sections: upper, mid, lower. The upper section and the lower section are mirrored, and the mid section is generally the part of the textile in Sumba that signifies clan status or affiliation in the human world. This is the part of the textile that is most prominent as it is worn on the shoulder. So this upper part of the textile and the lower part of the textile is divided into 8 mirrored and repeated units in a similar structure to this Marapu cosmology. So aside from this similarity, we can see a kind of push and pull between complementary but opposing elements in this textile. The thin red bands at the bottom alternating with these wider dark background bands, and each band itself consisting of a primary large and secondary smaller filling motifs. So harmony is created in this composition by mirroring elements and by balancing opposite elements, which is what I'd like to talk about a little more. This is a quote from a West Sudanese elder. "There is nothing at all on earth that is not paired. Everything must have its counterpart. The right hand is not worth much without the left hand. You must work hard to put everything in order, in balance." So this reinforces this common idea in many Austronesian indigenous religions of balancing opposing and complementary forces, such as upper, lower, life, death, hot, cool, right, left, odd, even, bittersweet, masculine, feminine. And achieving this balance between these elements is often done via undertaking ritual activities. One of the purposes of undertaking Marapu ritual is to balance hot and cooling forces. So heat is associated with physical, spiritual danger, and often associated with masculine metal goods, gold objects, whereas coolness is associated with physical or spiritual safety, fresh water, and feminine goods such as textiles. So coolness is this really desired quality that is classically embodied by textiles. When a Marapu person dies, their body is put into the fetal position and immediately wrapped in the protection of dozens of these cooling textiles. This is to protect the deceased during their journey through the afterlife. So this division between masculine and feminine goods is fundamental in the ritual gift exchange process that occurs between two clans when a potential bride and groom want to marry. And Reng will talk about this practice in more detail. So where else can we see complementary dualism in textiles? Sumba has one of the most vibrant traditions of parallel speech in the world. This type of speech consists of two parts, usually with a similar or an opposite meaning. So this specialized speech is a feature of Marapu ritual, and it consists of long strings of these couplets, spoken rapidly by specialists. Almost all of the core anthropomorphic and zoomorphic motives that appear in East Sumbanese textiles have counterparts in parallel speech. And so textiles are another way in which the concepts and the metaphors embodied in oral tradition are communicated. So here's some examples of textile motifs and their complementary speech couplets. So to finish up, I'd like to look at one more example. A common parallel couplet that refers to royal caste members in Sumba is
Anakarawula Anawiyarara, which translates to child of the moon turtle, child of the red crocodile. And we can see a direct rendition of that speech couplet in both textiles in this slide. So again, the couplets are divided into one part masculine, one feminine, one part hot, one cool, and we can see this pairing of the moon and sun indicated with the blue brackets. So again, the crocodiles in the sun referring to male royalty, the turtle and the moon referring to female royalty, and obviously these symbols are symbolic of rank and can only be worn by royal caste members. So I think we're running short on time. I want to finish up there, and maybe Rang would like to jump in now. So thank you.